see you, brother JJ. Come on in, family. I see you, daughter Love. Lavelle Burns. We're about ready to pump it up here in a few minutes. Just give ourselves a chance to populate here. I see the elders in the house. Elder Gibbs. Family, yeah. Y'all know it's the host with the most. Yeah, come on in. Let's populate. Y'all know how we do it. Hit that little share button. That little button down there. Let everybody know that we in the house. And we're going to be finishing up on how important is the hair, part 3. We've been dropping some real good nuggets. We've been having some after sessions. Once we finish chopping it up in a session, we have some after sessions. I see you, Dorothy Dot Smith. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all tell somebody. I see your brother Cedric. How's everybody today? How y'all doing out there? It's another great Saturday, another great Shabbat. Another day that we ought to be rejoicing because we in it. Come on here. We're perpendicular and not horizontal. Still give ourselves a little time to populate here because I see some of my fam isn't in here. You know, Facebook likes to play games. So everybody, make sure you share. Thank you, Brother Said. All right, fam. Greetings. Of course, you all know who I am. I'm your host with the most. That's right. I am the one, the apostle, the prophet. Yes, indeed, coming into your eardrums with 2,400 watts of power and into your eye gates. Listen, I promise what you see, come on here, will get you to get with yourself. And this is all about self. We're trying to get us back to self. Once we get back to self and get that relationship that we need, it is easier for us to establish relationships with others. All right. Of course, some of you already know today is my day. So with that being my day of interest, I have to make a sound. Take me down to that bottom over there, bro. That om. This is one of my gifts for my day of entrance, my special day, my birthday, my born day, my soulless day. Greetings, family. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Inotep. Abaragane. Amani kaka. Amani dada. Hola. Bonjour. Konnichiwa. Ni hao, huh? Greetings, fam. Glad to have you in the house today. It's another Saturday we get to spend together. Yes, noble sister Rhonda, I'm feeling okay outside of these sinuses. It's probably what you're seeing. And then also I have to sound the shofar. That it may be a season of jubilation, a season of increase, Yes, frequency. The sounding of the shofar to release. The shofar sends out a frequency that acts as a corkscrew, and it goes out into the atmosphere like a corkscrew, and then it causes things to break apart like glass. It shatters things. And that's what happened when we were doing an exercise before we came on. The men here, Brother J.P. Hall, we were all doing an exercise, and his bracelet, his beads actually came apart and flew all over the room, representing the particles. Particles, they go out to come back in. And this is what we're all doing. We're scattered all over the place, which is why when you come into the room, I love for you to let us know where you're hailing from so that we can connect and come back together again as a family. So we're here for each other. Yeah, why didn't he? I'll answer that question in just a second. Let me blow my nose, you all. Excuse me. I'm dealing with this pollen over here in South Carolina, y'all. It's like green snow. I see y'all in the house. Sergeant at Arms Kiana Grant. I see you, Sister Tracy Love, dear to my heart. And of course, our very own Noble Queen Rhonda in the house. I see you, Elaine. I see you. That's my son, Jeff. Y'all share. Let everybody know we're here. Come on, we can go ahead and get this done. And we can go ahead on and move on and get into this. I promise one thing for you. That's to be strong and not long. And we can get this on like Matty Stone, who was kin to Papa the Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his shoes and put his shoes was his home. All right. The guys are poor and don't even know it. Thank you all for all of the warm wishes. I receive them. I accept them. Oh, it's a great frequency in the room. Oh, my. It's a great frequency in the room, fam. I don't know if y'all can really sense it and hear it, but let me send some of it to you. Here, reach and grab it. This is a portal. I guarantee you, this is a portal that has the ability to transfer energy. And if you all can feel this energy, man, I mean, it is pumping up in here. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you all. Sister Rhonda asked the question. She says, why didn't Obama pardon the Honorable Messiah Marcus Garvey? Good question. Good question. In my opinion and in my thoughts of it, he couldn't deal with anything black, period. Because if if he would have, they would have killed him. And of course, he wasn't ready for death. Excuse me. You see who came into office after him, right? And you see what they woke up. You see the mentality and the behavior of those ones that is with Trump, right? So can you just imagine what he was hearing, what they were saying to him when he was in office? You know, if he wasn't ready to die, then yeah, he couldn't say anything. He shouldn't have said anything. Couldn't say anything. You see. So that's what you know. In my opinion, I mean, it's a lot more to go with that. But in my opinion, he should have been ready to ascend to that office. He should have been ready to give his life. Because if he was going to go in as being a black candidate, then he would have to realize who he is and who he represents. You can go in there talking about you represent all the people if you want to. There's a certain group of people that are going to see you for being who you are, and that's black. So they're going to make sure that you don't have the ability to be able to make any decisions concerning, so far as it concerns black people. You know, you couldn't get Barack to do anything for black people. And when I say anything, I know that's a sweeping accusation, but it's warranted because we, the ones that it should really affect, have that opinion. You see. So, but long as you in the who's who and you was able to get into the balls they were having at the White House, the fake balls, to make the oppressed ones feel like they were included when we'd never be included in anything, but made them feel like they were included when they were invited to the White House to sing, you know, maybe to be at some type of ball or something. It was all a ploy. So just to keep them in a place where they would keep the other oppressed in a place so that we could not ascend. So there's a concerted effort to do that. But let me go ahead on and get to this, and then we can discuss a number of things today because we're not going to be long. So let's get back to this hair. Let's talk about it. Your hair. Let me put this out here. Let's go back and right here. Just to get a starting point, we can go right here. Isn't that something? Wait a minute. Okay. All right. That's correct. He should not have been in office if he wasn't ready to die, in my opinion. You know, if you're not willing to give your life for what you believe in, why do it? Because it's for naught. There's not going to be any energy there. You see. But we're talking about the hair, and the hair allows us to talk about a number of things. It takes us to a myriad of places to talk about some things. So, but here we found that your hair causes your brain to work in the mode of reciprocation because it is at once releasing info concerning you while simultaneously receiving info concerning your environment as well as those that are in it. Remember, we talked about that because we're talking about the premise of the hair being antennas. And we know what antennas have the ability to do, to pull in electrical magnetic waves and different levels of energy. So this is what our hair does. Our hair pulls in different levels of energy, but at the same time, it is reciprocating it. It is receiving it and then sending it back out because these are antennas. And not only that, but our hair is coiled. It is coiled. And because it is coiled, it has a springing action to it. So when the energy goes down that coil, it goes down and bounces back and come out and go back out into the atmosphere like a sonar, like radar. And we'll get to that. So look at this. So that's why there is a concerted effort to keep us from being natural, from wearing our natural hair, because our natural hair has properties in it that causes us to become illuminated and illuminated, so that things are drawn to us. People are drawn to us. Situations and circumstances are drawn to us so that we can shape and mold them. We've lost the understanding and the idea of this. And so now it's been reawakening, right? So let me put another one out there. We just had a few of these just to finish up on from last session. We just ran a little long because when you keep trying to share this information, you got to take your time with it so that you don't lose the potency of it and the fulfillment of it. Okay. How's everybody doing? Y'all doing okay? Y'all doing okay? Put some of them emojis. Hit them emojis for me. Okay. Now here's another one that we had, right? Now look at this. Your hair is connected to your lymphatic system. Thusly, if one cuts their hair, it causes a numbness of the senses. You catch that? Actually cutting your hair, because your hair is live tissue, it actually numbs you in a certain way that you don't even understand that it's happening. So subsequently causing, in some cases, the inability to respond to subtle stimuli. We know what subtle means. It means to be so slight as not to be what? Detected. Excuse me. So hair is living tissue. The more hair you have, the more power is generated with your nervous system. The more hair that you have, the more power you can generate with your nervous system. The more your brain is going to be energized. The more your spinal cord is going to vibrate and send information at a rapid pace and speed, and cause you to become quick-witted, cause your thoughts to become quick, and you don't have to cogitate long. The OBG that delivered some of my children is a brother, and when he was going through med school, he had locks. And he said, man, he said that information came so easy. He said came so easy to me. So after he got out of med school and went into his practice, he cut his locks off, and I can see how he had lost some of his sensitivity and stimulations. He said, man, because I was on it. And when we talked about this, he realized that it had happened to him. So this is a doctor. So this is a fact. This is not some need to cause us to be supreme. We don't need needs to cause us to be supreme. We're already that. We were created that. So it's very important for us to understand that and get back to that. We're not trying to be equal with anyone. We're just trying to be ourselves. And when we be ourselves, that automatically causes us to move back into a place of supremacy. Because why? We are the blueprint. We have the blueprint. We know what the blueprint is of this cosmos, this universe, and it responds to us. So we just need only to get back to it, right? Okay. So again, hair is what? Hair is a living tissue. The more hair you have, the more power is generated with the nervous system. You have more power that is generated. Okay? All right. Now, the master teacher placed out here, my bowels. He's talking about Uremia. I am pained at my very heart. My heart maketh a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. The word trumpet in the Hebrew is shofar, which comes from the word shofar, which means to cut. The shofar you sounded, the one made a sound that pierced the atmosphere. Incidentally, the word cut goes back to the meaning of the word covenant. And as in cutting a covenant with someone, we just cut a covenant with you. And that's true. With the sound that went out through the portal, because these are portals. Family, remember, when you open up your computer or when you get out here online, you're opening up a portal. You're opening up a vortex. You're opening up something to transfer something or have something transferred to you. It becomes reciprocal. So you have to know what you're opening up. You have to know what you're looking at and listening to, because invariably it becomes a part of you. Okay, so be careful with that. Not afraid, but have caution. Be aware. Okay. All right. I see you, Brother Love. All right. Let's get at one more of these. But brother said, so he growing his out now. I hear you, brother said. Yes, sir. So we can recognize each other. Man, can you imagine being attracted to yourself when you see yourself? Oh my. Whoo. Boy, it is so attractive, man. It is magnetism. When we see, listen, we don't even have to know each other. When we see somebody else with locks, guess what the first thing they say? What's up, fam? We dapping it up and everything. We don't even know each other. But what there is a familiarity. Right? Yeah. Isn't that something? Sister Rhonda says, so it's safe to say that hair cutting is a European thing that we should have never bought into. I would certainly say so, because we had natural hair. If you look back in antiquity, we had locks, we had hair, but also in antiquity. But when you come into Kemet or come into Egypt, you had brothers with short haircuts and they had waves in their hair. But that was the latter and not the formal. You know, the formal, we had hair. So you can look back in antiquity and see both of them, but we had hair. We understood the purpose of it. And if you look at those Mau that were over in Jamaica, them brothers was cold. Them brothers, they wouldn't let their hair grow to represent getting back revenge for what had happened to the people. So yeah, which is why they call them dreadlocks, because they dreaded to see us coming with this kind of hair. They knew what was happening. And then the natives that were in the land, they called us buffalo. They called us buffalo soldiers. The reason why they called us buffalo soldiers, because they thought that we had hair like buffaloes. You see, we had that wool. We had that real coarse, curly hair. You see. Yes, and we was generating all that power and all of that energy. Now, look at this one. This one says the more hair one has, the easier it is to connect to one's environment. Your hair is like radar. It allows you to connect to anything that is producing energy in your environment. Anything that's producing energy in your environment, you can get the energy out of it. But however, you want to make sure you know what it is before you get it out of there. You see, all energy is not clean, renewable energy. So you have to be careful with what kind of energy that you're pulling from. Okay? Because you have to know your enemy knows what your hair has the ability to do, which is why they're getting with the new fad. The new fad that they're getting all of the young people and even some of the middle-aged people do is cut all the sides of their hair off. Cut it all off and then just leave a piece in the top or a mohawk down the center. But you've cut everything off. That's a fad. And your counterparts want you to get caught up in that. They don't want you to be full and whole and wholesome and healthy, wholesome, full. They don't want that. They don't want you to be whole in your mind, because when we're whole, we connect, family. We see each other as ourselves. We see a reflection of ourselves. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you have to be careful who grooms your crown. Yeah, New York term as well, my Buffalo Soldier. Yes. I love it when y'all talk back. Let's go get this other one.
I don't think it's the one. I don't think it's fortuitous that they're cutting their hairs off on the side, because I recall years ago where in this area, that's where the hair grew the fastest and the longest, right in that area, especially back in heading toward the top portion. It grows the fastest and the longest. So why would they cut that area and use it as a mohawk?
Right. Exactly. That is referred to as the pectorals. These are the pectoral areas here that your hair does grow longer here than it does anywhere else. You're absolutely correct. So it is a recognition of you cutting off the most strongest part of your ability to gather in energy.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And so it's correct. It isn't fortuitous. It is by design. Everybody okay? How's everybody doing?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now, because your hair stores information, it is a data bank of info concerning your journey and how to take your journey. Because your hair stores up information. Check it out. Your hair stores up information. When it starts growing up out your head from your lymphatic system, out of your nervous system, your brain, it has information in it for direction. It has information in it that teaches you how to become one with the environment that you're in. There's so much that when we get in tune with ourselves, we start back using who we are. Right? See, our counterparts have created mechanisms for them to be able to do it, but we naturally do it.
Yes.
See, so they have been creating off of us. Everything that they've been created, GPS device, we have it automatically within us. We can go a certain place one time, and we can recall how to get there with no problem. We can navigate. We know how to navigate through the heavens. Whether they have to build a spaceship to go up there and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Everything comes natural to us. And we've gotten away from it. Remember, I shared with you all about AI, artificial intelligence. Yes. This is what the universe is moving toward, because who's in authority?
That's right.
Everything is becoming synthetic. Everything is a fabrication. It's becoming a fabrication. It's not the real thing. And so when you see us with these locks, you're looking at the real thing. When we walk up on you and start kicking it with you, you looking at the real thing. You're not looking at something that's simulated. You're not looking at something trying to project an image that they're not. You see? See, and you have to understand now, if your hair stores up information because it's a data bank, that means that if you have simulated hair, hair weaves, wigs, wig pieces, you see, that's a simulation. That means that your thought processes can be altered by artificial intelligence. When you're natural, you have the natural ability to assess and say, wait a minute, what is that? You really check a thing out. So it's very important for us to really understand this. And I'm being real subtle with this because I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to be informative to let everybody know that we got to get away from the artificial intelligence. Our queens and goddesses and mothers and daughters are being turned into artificial dolls. No. Listen to what I'm saying to you, please. It's a fact. All you have to do is look at who's premier, who's out front. Look at, and please, Beyonce, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not. You just happen to be an example. Look at Beyonce. She looks like a doll. She doesn't look real. She looks artificial. You look at what's her name? Cardi B. Look at her. And then what's the other sister? Nicki Minaj. Look at them. They're not real. That's an alteration. See, and we're drawn to that. It is something that is drawing us to that, and it's because we've stopped being in love with our natural selves. Our hair is very important. It grows out of our head the way that it was intended to grow. And it was not intended to be altered. See, you have to understand, you can, it's your prerogative to do and be whatever you want to be. But you have to understand that you cannot convince me, because I love you. You cannot convince me that you look better with simulated hair, wigs, weaves. You can't convince me of that, because I love you. I don't love the aesthetics. I'm not concerned about that. And then you have what you refer to as human hair. Now, if hair holds data and information, that means that if you're putting someone else's hair in your head, that means that you are attaching their memories to you. Are you hearing me? Please, I'm not preaching to you. I'm talking to you. This is our conversation. Because if you're putting someone else's hair in your head, you're also putting their memories. It is the same thing as if you took a blood transfusion. If you take a blood transfusion, that means that you're putting everything, you're putting everything in you that was in whomsoever they withdrew the blood from. We just aren't thinking, fam. We've lost our way. And that's serious. That's serious, Dad. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten that our hair grow the way we are. I don't know. I don't think y'all hearing me, family. If you are, put some of the emojis and different types of things in the air out there for me to let me know that you're with me. And you're with us. And we're all together. Right? I'm just slowing it all the way down because I'm almost finished. See, we're not understanding what's happening to us. It's so subtle. Again, everything is becoming artificial. So if you're using simulations, simulated hair, weaves, wigs, all of that, that is an attempt to hide who you are. That is an attempt to cover up who you are. That is an attempt to not identify with yourself. See, and it all starts with self. See, you can't, when you're still looking Eurocentric and like an Indian, and when I say Indian, I'm talking about from India with that hair. I'm not talking about a native. You're looking at someone, man, that that's not hair. Haven't you all noticed? And I'm not being, listen. Have you all, hold for me, Brother Javon, let me finish this thought. When you look at the hair, when you look at our hair, we have hair. Our hair is live tissue. But when you look at their hair is fur. Catch what I'm saying to you because it's important. They're the only kinds of people that, guess what? Lice are attracted to their head. Haven't you noticed that we don't attract lice? Fleas are attracted to their heads. We don't attract fleas. Every kind of insect is attracted to their heads. Their simulated hair because it's fur. And here we are trying to do that. And so when we do that, we're catching that spirit. And now when you look up, those bugs are trying to infest our children. All right, so that's something to think about. Brother Javon is on. Let's get with Brother Javon here real quick. Come on, bro, talk to us.
Peace and blessings, family.
Peace and blessings.
I just wanted to call in, sort of face-to-face, greet you with a happy Solar's Day.
Yes.
And I just want to thank y'all and thank you for allowing this platform to first, for everybody to sort of get this information that you're putting out here.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of people, don't necessarily get an opportunity or even want this information. But I'm glad that you're putting it out there because a lot of people need to hear the information. It's very important information.
Yes, sir.
Of course, as well as others, we've been detached from our natural state. So, like I said, it's an important information. I kind of already put on the timeline sort of the business aspect, but again, I just want to thank you and for giving us this platform and just wishing you a happy Solar Day. Tell the family I said what's up and I love them.
Yes, Brother Javon. Did it go?
Sir.
Oh, okay. Listen, hit us real quick. Hit us real quick with them business, man. Run them off. Come on here.
Okay.
That's what this for.
Got none?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I put them on the timeline. Let me get back to my paperwork real quick. Hold on one time so I can run off the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we got the nonprofit organization, which is Prodigal Souls Foundation, sort of tackling social issues, dealing with feeding the homeless, single parent homes, just tackling every social issue that you can come about, including the one that we're talking about today.
Yes.
You can reach us at 214-412-5514. We got Concept One Catering, which is located in Little Rock, Arkansas. We sort of deal with that particular area. We're not really branching out of that area right now, but we do plan on doing, trying to open up bigger ventures. But if you ever need a catering event in that area, in the Little Rock area, you can reach Stephen Dotson at 501-912-4100. We got Ancient Biblical Tree Tea, which is a detox tea. It is nationwide. We can ship anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. You can contact Brother Larry at 501-412-4754. Black House Diaries, which is sort of our holistic sort of storefront where we supply just different African jewelry and holistic like rocks and meditation rocks, just different everything African sort of merchandise. You can contact Mira Salam. You can reach her at 501-503-5863. And of course, MB Studios here in the Dallas, Texas area, where we do tattoos and African artwork. You can contact Mark Baines at 214-585-8362. And of course, I got other ventures on, but we'll talk about them at a later point.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Johnson. Excuse me. This is our very own Brother Javon Johnson by way of Dallas, by way of Little Rock, Arkansas. We appreciate you. We love you, man. Thank you for calling in.
Love y'all.
One love.
All love.
That was our very own Brother Javon. Yes, Sister Rhonda Moore says she's on the Ancient Biblical Tea Tree. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Brother said be gassing me, man. He has so much humor when he talk. He said, yep, no lights over here. And Sister Rhonda Moore said that their fur smells awful when it's wet. Oh my God, it does. Brother Kersey, he said exactly like a dog. And Sister Cheryl Fry says, and where you been? You in trouble. Hadn't seen you. A reason why the courts say we can be fired or not hired with our locks, etc., and they try saying our natural hair is unprofessional, mind control. Yes, it is. And that's why you have to take over that. That's why we have to take it over. That's why we have to put it out there. That's why we have to let them know that it ain't going nowhere. We finna twist it, baby. We finna twist it. We finna twist it. We finna twist it, twirl it, and twine it. Oh, yes, indeed. We're gonna two-strand that baby. We ain't gonna cylinder it. We're gonna two-strand because two-strand represents your deoxyribonucleic acid, your DNA. Your DNA also represents your divine nature activated. Your hair has something to do with your divine nature because it carries, hey, Miss Nellie, has something to do with your spirit. Your hair has something to do with your spirit. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so we don't want it to be for naught. We want it to be what it is and what it's designed to do, right? And we ain't trying to knock nobody, but what I'm saying is when I step to you, I'm stepping to you as being real. I'm not stepping to you as being altered by something in this universe that has been created or projected by my counterpart. You see? So it's very important for us to understand that. Okay, fam? And it's okay. We ain't mad at each other. We just saying, hey, if that's where you at, that's where you at. But over here, this is what we doing. Right here, just like that. See, and we're going to do it just like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. This is almost the last one. Got just one little tidbit after this one right here. Watch this. Check this out, fam. Okay. All right. Your hair, watch this, captures and holds water. And water, because water has the ability to hold and store memory, it therefore contains a level of consciousness. Oh my. That's deep, man. We some deep people, y'all. Man, we some gods and goddesses. Man, we the baddest thing that walk the face of Eretz or the earth.
Yes.
Look at this. Your hair captures and holds water, and because water has the ability to hold and store memory, it therefore contains a level of consciousness. Ooh, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right. Look at this. Excuse me. In addition to, water changes the shape of things based upon one's thoughts and sounds in the atmosphere. Oh, that's heavy. Consequently, giving one's the ability to change the climate of their environment. Oh, yes. In addition to, water changes the shape of things based upon one's thoughts and sounds in the atmosphere. That's what we were doing. We were projecting thought and sound in the atmosphere. We changed the frequency. We changed the vibration. Sounds in the atmosphere, consequently giving one the ability to change the climate of their environment. That means that when we walk into an environment, we have the ability to change the climate. That's why people are mesmerized and drawn to us, because we just changed the climate. We just changed the atmosphere. Oh, yes, this is true. I've stepped into a room and caused the whole room to become hot. I've been in meetings where I've spoken a certain word and people began to sweat profusely and even tried to disrobe themselves and had to be stopped because of the fire. We have the ability to control an atmosphere, but we've lost that because we decided not to be natural. We decided to become synthetic. We've decided to become other than who we are. We are trying to become AI. And I'm not talking about the answer, baby. I'm not talking about Allen Iverson. That was the answer, baby. Yes, indeed. That was my boy, pound for pound. He was the baddest boy that was in the NBA. Yeah. So, another story. So it changes the climate. Here's this. Listen, this is a fact. They have through study, check this out, y'all. They have through study found, again, that water holds memory. Guess what they did? They did a study where they dropped a flower into a beacon of water, and then they took a syringe and drawed some of the water out, put it on a slide, and put it under magnifying glass, and you could see the reflection of the rose, the flower. The water held the memory. The water held the shape of that flower. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up. Water holds memory. But also, if water holds memory, you have to understand that if you're drinking faucet water, you have to remember that other people have drank that water. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. The water goes out to what kind of plant? To the treatment plant. Okay, so why does the water have to go to the treatment plant? So it can be treated and what? Cleansed. So if somebody else drank that water and you drink that water and water holds memory, guess what? You've taken on everything in them. And we wondering why. Remember, our elders always used to say it's something in the water. Right. You can ask the elders. I'm telling y'all, it's something in. We thought that I thought they were playing, but they weren't. Right. So that means some of your choices aren't yours. You have false memory. Where's that false memory come from? Something you may have ingested. Never thought about it, huh? Never thought about that. It ain't the devil. Because everything, when you look around, it must be the devil. It must be the devil. That's what Dr. Amiri says in a piece he called Dope, and I'll do it one day. He said, must be the devil. But we don't understand that things have been altered. Chemically, things are being altered. So if water holds memory, you have to understand that you are drinking someone else's memories. And you have the ability to take that on. That's why we have to pay attention to what we're projecting. That's why it's easy to poison us through water, poison us through foods and different types of things. Okay, because we become careless. So again, your hair captures and holds water, and because water has the ability to hold and store memory, it therefore contains a level of consciousness. It can think, which means that it grows. It can fly. Yeah, your hair can think. Yeah. It know when to grow. It know when to turn gray. It know when to shrivel up. And your hair can fly. Get in the wind and see what happens. Your hair will start flying. Yes. Never thought about it like that, did you? Yeah, your hair can fly. Oh man, that's bad. I know when I get out in the wind and the wind is really flying, boy, it'll really, really get the flapping in the wind. And boy, I feel like I'm getting ready to take off. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing to be in love with yourself. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing to be cognizant. It's a beautiful thing and a wonderful thing to be aware. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing to cogitate, to self-actualize, to meditate. Because why? You're getting with self, and it's about the self. And when you start talking about self, self comes back to its natural state and want to project that, because then once it projects that, it projects truth. If you want to know what truth is how things really appear. So if you're not appearing to be yourself, then you are a fabrication. You are a hologram of yourself. You're an alteration of yourself. So thusly, you are not yourself. And then, so therefore, you don't know self. Okay? All right. Let me see what we have out on the time. What did I just do? Wait a minute, fam. Okay. See what we have out on the timeline. Everybody okay? Everybody good? Okay. Let me see. Food for thought. Yes. Elaine says yes, because it recycled water. Not only is there memories in the water, but medication that has been disposed or deposited in the water, which is absolutely categorically correct. Okay. I grew up on well water. You had to pump it. Yes, indeed. Sister Run, you are right. We grew up on the well water as well, so we had to pump it, right? But the thing about it is that what most people don't understand about well water is that you can't get the water out of the well without priming it. You have to prime it. And we would get in trouble if we didn't leave a cup of water at the pump, because you had to pour the water over in the pump to prime it to get the water to come out. And that water was cool, crystal clean, and smooth. And you didn't have to worry about getting sick. It would have the green stuff. What is it? Not algae, but What is that? The grow on the ground. Moss. Yeah. On the pump, man. We just pumped the water right on out of that, and that was actually cleansing the water. It was so good. Yes, you're right. Yeah, and that's when the water was pure. That's when thoughts were pure too. We weren't tainted with all that craziness and foolishness, man. Yes, indeed. Kiana said, watch out over the head. I see you, Donnie Brandon. Cedric Kershaw says facts. Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure. Sister Cheryl Fry says, sorry, been off schedule lately, getting back on track. Okay, got you. I just didn't want to have to send the troops out there to find you. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. How the Europeans are going to tell us what's professional or not. Isn't that interesting? Didn't we civilize them? Yes, indeed, according to antiquity. Yeah. According to what the Moors recorded. Yep. Okay. Let me see. For them to send back. Yes. So we have to, so again, here it is. Once we begin to open these things up and we can get back to who we are, man, we can lessen the effects of this stuff on us, on our communities, rain. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Last one. I see you, Brother Jamal Green. Okay. All right. Here it is, the culmination of it. Your hair is substantive, thusly, it is your essence. I said again. Your hair is substantive, thusly, it is your essence. And if you're cutting it off, straightening it, then you're dealing with the very essence of who you are. Justly, who you are have been affected by someone other than yourself. And it's amazing because it just happens so almost like simultaneously. One morning you just get up and say, ooh, I think I'm just going to put some red dye in my hair. That wasn't your thought, because that's not the color of your hair. It's not the natural color of your hair, but something influenced you. Something changed the frequency of you loving yourself. There's always an affirming, reaffirming. You see these young Thundercats. Boy, they growing these big old fros, growing these big old naturals, letting their hair grow out again. Don't even know why, but guess what? They caught hope to a memory. And it's up to us to be examples. Stand firm. Head up, shoulders back. We're going to put one foot in front of the other. We're going to keep marching. And I don't mean marching, but I mean marching. We're going to keep rising up. Every time they try to knock us down and put us down, we're going to keep rising. We're going to remind us of who we are. We're going to be who we are. Family, we're going to stop dealing with Weusi and anxiety. Weusi is Kiswahili for blackness. Anxiety means that you have a fear. There's something going on in you that it's not so much that you hate white people as much as you hate being black. We're going to deal with this Weusi and anxiety, family. We speak to it. We speak to that anxiety and we command it to subside. And we command the self to rise up again. We command know thyself. Come on, family. Come on, know yourself. Come on, introduce yourself to yourself. Come on, let's become one with self again. I see yourself. C-E-L-L-F. I see you, self. I see my ancestors. I see my elders. I see my great-grands and grands. I see you. Woo! Because I see myself. Come on, fam. It ain't nothing like seeing us. It ain't nothing like embracing us, embracing ourselves. When I embrace you, I embrace myself because we're one and the same. Come on, fam. Come on, rise up. Up, you mighty race. And let's be going. Yeah, the Honorable Marcus Musa Garvey. Up, you mighty race. Woo, let's be going. Oh, it's our time. I've been sent to remind you. It's our time. Oh, wake up. Oh, I'm not going to let you fall back to sleep on my walk. Wake up. On my watch, on my walk. I'm not letting you go back to sleep. Get up and stand up. Oh, I decree it. I give forth an affirmation. I decree it. Get up and stand up. Yeah, this time we're going to fight for our rights. We're not going to beg, we're not going to march, but we're going to fight for our rights. We're going to find the right articulation, come on here, that fits the situation. I heard Dr. Franz Fanon say that violence is a man recreating himself. It's our season and our time, family. I've been sent to remind you, wake up. All right. Sister Cheryl Fry says her mother would lots of times boil and strain water and put it in the refrigerator for us. Yes, ma'am. And you can see the carcinogens and different types of things that would be in that water. So, but yes, it would be stuck on the side of the pot from the boiling. You're absolutely correct, Sister Cheryl Fry. Thank you for that. Listen, thank all of you all for your comments and your sharing. And you're right, Sister Ron, the self-hatred. Brother Javon wanted to know the groups that you had dropped everything into, Brother Hall. But we're over with now, so we'll have to bear that in mind next time. Brother Cedric Kersey is one of our very own. He's part of what we're doing here. He has his own podcast program. Make sure you put your information out there, Brother Said. Conscious or Crazy. And it's awesome. He's allowed me to be on the show a few times, and man, it's always a treat. And man, he's very informative, and he loves information. That's one of our stalwarts right there. That brother's on like a telephone. Brother Said. Brother Javon Johnson. Sister Rhonda Moore. I see you, Tanya. George Williams. Brother Jamar Green, if I'm correct, he has Retroactive Sports. If he's still in the room, please put that out there. If you all have a business, website, whatever, please post it. Yeah, okay, Sister Rodney, I get, yeah, it's like when people say to me, I believe, I tell them, then you don't know. Yeah, because belief has in it the element of doubt. And then also in the center of it, if you look in the center of the word believe or belief, you see the word lie, L-I-E, lie. A belief can be a lie. So, but yes, gratitude to all of you all. And as always, y'all know how this goes. Hold what you got. Cogitate upon it. Muse over it. Ponder on it. But by all means, govern yourselves accordingly. One love. Eternal light. Power. Peace. Prosperity. And good health. Shalom Alaikum. Mishpikah. Peace be unto you, family.